My life after wife number one. That's right. People are asking me, Rock, what's it like being divorced? Hey, listen, I've been married 25 years between two wives. I'm in my 70s, and I spent almost 30 years of alimony and 25 years of supporting a second home. And am I bitching? No. Am I pissed about financial efforts? Off and on, but not anymore, because now what did I gain? Independence. So let's talk about life after wife number one. I have to admit I was pretty lucky because I got married very young at 22. So I had 3 kids, and I found my purpose in the family business right away. So I was workaholic. I actually found what I love to do. And I didn't really realize how great of a life I had until my ex-wife asked for a divorce. And it fucking rocked me, man. And it took some time to realize that all traditions, all bets are off. Plus, taking care of 3 kids in a second home, I couldn't do it. So the first thing I started looking at was the visitation schedule, because I didn't want to give up the kids. So I actually fought for custody. And my attorney says, Rock, it's never going to happen in the state of Minnesota. She's not a bad mother. You're not a bad dad. So it's just not going to happen. And they were asking for child support. And back in those days, in the 80s, it was pretty cut and dry. Here's your guideline. But wasn't cut and dry was that I was a superstar at 33. And the judge didn't feel like I was outperforming what I could do. You heard me right. They expected more from me. So their standard was much, much higher from what we call, or I call, a breadwinner. I was a fucking breadwinner. And women at that point, being coached, they don't want to work. They want to consider themselves a homemaker. So when you look at that combination of finance, you're really stuck. And I was 33 years old. Most people make their money in their 40s and 50s. That's their prime. Statistically, you can look that up because you're still building. You're still building that first $1 million or whatever you're looking for, or your Social Security or your retirement. And most people didn't look at retirement back in the 80s. There were pensions with companies and so on and so on. So going back to my life, it wasn't easy. So, and I had 3 kids, all under 12. And so, you know what? I really believed in good education and sports. I was all into sports. So when you got 3 kids, you got 3 different schedules. 2 boys and a girl at different ages, different sports, different teams. And so where I could, I started coaching. And I was really fortunate because I was in sales and marketing, so I could really kind of schedule my lifestyle, and that helped a lot. And then let me see here, in the first 5 years, I actually negotiated and bought our family business. So that was an experience. So I had a divorce, not only with my wife, I had a divorce with the state of Minnesota, because now I became a single parent, and in their eyes, a deadbeat dad. 3 kids, so traditions are all off. Family discipline, traditions off the table. So I had to recreate a new life for me and my kids. And then I basically had a breakup with my former partner. But I can't complain because he had money and he bought me out. You can see I'm on a swing. So, I'm at a little park here. I'm showing you my independence. So that took 17 years before I sold that business. So I sold it in 93. So figure I divorced in 88, bought and sold a business, grew a business over 17 years, and I eventually sold, starting in 75, I'd sold it in 93. And then I started up my own businesses from then on. I was unemployable, and I wanted the independence. So I couldn't have a W-2. I had to make more money to be able to subsidize my kids. So you're talking about a sacrifice. You're talking about money. I didn't become where I quit my job and to reduce my salary. No. I went all out and said, okay, fuck it. I'll sell everything. And I sacrificed for 22 years for my kids. So I lived in hotels. I lived in rooms for $300 a month with buddies. I slept on couches. I did anything I could. Actually, the hotels weren't bad for hockey tournaments and baseball tournaments and shit like that because I had somewhere to stay. But don't forget, I had to organize all that. And then I became the president of the company, and I was the face of the company. So, I had 12, 16-hour days, no problem. 7 days a week, plus church, because my faith was deep and I wanted my kids to become, faithful and understanding my life. I got 10 brothers and sisters and parents, so we had a lot of traditions, a lot of family events, baptisms, weddings, divorces, all that shit. So basically, I was alone. Now, during those 22 years, my kids started going to college, and I helped them with college. I gave all my kids an incentive during high school to really focus and prioritize your grades, your background, your kindness, your integrity, having friends, playing sports, really commit to something and be a good teammate. And that's what taught me my foundation, my family, my high school, my grade school. I had great coaches, great mentors, and great advisors all the way through those 22 years. Why do I say 22 years? Because I eventually married after 22 years. So, life after wife number one was brutal. And let me mention this to you. A lot of people that I knew back then were not divorced. Just a few. Very few. Now it's a lot different. Most people are divorced. What's 50 to 80% are divorced at my age, 70s. Okay? Back then when you're in 30s, people are still together. But I heard the horror stories. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. I was really lucky. I was lucky that I didn't get involved with another woman due to blended families, because I saw what was going on with blended families. And most of them are unsuccessful anyway. The same percentage, 50 plus. But then you got to deal with the kids. And you have no say-so. And I have a lot of buddies that married for the second time and regret it because eventually, who comes first? The kids come first. The first marriage, wife number one, money came first, not the family. Money came first. And her life, and her future. And if they could have had the opportunity to go without finance until I cut a deal in 2004, I don't know how many years is that? Almost 20 years, let me see here, whatever, add it all up. I had lifetime maintenance besides child support for 3 kids over those years. So believe me, money is very important to a woman, and at least that 10-year mark indicates that if you're the breadwinner, that's the type of 50%, look it up, 50% of my income that I raised over 40 quarters in my career, they have access to 50% of that, which most of the time, in my case as a breadwinner, since they were homemakers and unemployable, they're going to benefit from that too. That's why I see a lot of marriages now go at least 10 years, because that's part of the strategy. Now, what I know today in the state of Florida, you could divorce within 3 years and have no alimony. Up to 7 years, a minimal alimony, but not lifetime, and it's all negotiable. That's the reason why I'm on this YouTube, is to let people know that, listen, you have choices. You don't have to be rough like me to the point where I had to basically discuss bankruptcy over many years of my career. Because I couldn't make payroll. If I couldn't make payroll, I'm not going to screw my employees. I'm not going to screw my suppliers. If I had to throw the keys in like I actually have, I have done, here's the keys, banker. And they said, hey, no, now is not time, Rock. If you're going to sell it, or you're going to liquidate, or you're going to file bankruptcy, here's your options. I said, no, that's not good, man. Because at the end of the day, it's your collateral. It's not like the old days where you could take out a loan and have so many shields, corporate shields, that you protect yourself. You can't do that when you're independent like I was. And there's new laws to protect single people like me also in business. You bring in another member at a very small percentage to protect yourself, because people will sue you for nothing. They even have what they call professional insurance for lawyers, for doctors, malpractice insurance. I mean, they got everything. And guys like me in real estate, I forgot what it's called, but it's insurance, you know? So this is my discussion, is you got to watch everything. And that was life after wife number one. And you know what's ironic is the hate that I see that Trump gets, or the Democrats, or Doge, or whoever it is. It's really sad to see, because that's how I feel, that I was hated by my wife number one to this day, because her life didn't turn out. Well, guess what? How did I know? But I believe in karma. And karma, eventually it catches up. Eventually it will catch up with you. And that's where I'm saying to myself, okay, 22 years of being single between wives. I look back and I go, wow, I can't believe I've done this. I've achieved this. And I'm still standing. And then I was, what should I say? I had criteria while I was dating between those 22 years, off and on. And one of my criteria is being Catholic, so we could share the same religion. Number two is don't have any kids to manage or deal with. No ex-husband. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. I just felt like, hey, you know, I don't want to bring any drama into the relationship. Your relationship or my relationship. And we had breakups. I had breakups that hurt. That hurt, but I had to do something. I had to make some decisions. And it all worked out. It was painful. I've had breakups, more than one. So that's the reason why I'm talking about this stuff is, you know, there is life after wife. There is. But you don't know how it's going to play out. That's the thing. And it's scary and it's fearful. And the first thing you worry about is, can I afford it? Can I afford to be independent? Can I afford 2 households? Can I actually help my kids get ahead with opportunities that I had to pay for? It's really something. And that's why I believe that God gave me the opportunity to be single and free. Because down the road, I eventually realized that peace is a key. Because I've been in the mergers and acquisitions. I've been in business for 50 years. So I've had a lot of, let's say, deals. And deals, good and bad. And I say to myself, man, I am so thankful that I survived. And I did the best I could. Of these 8 businesses, I've had 7 exits. That means I had to decide strategically when to quit, when to move on to another endeavor. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm doing YouTube. That's a business to me. And I believe I'm helping people, not only in divorce, entrepreneurs understand. And people that have told me, Rock, it's a badge of honor to go through a divorce as an entrepreneur. Do you know why they say that? Because you become one tough motherfucker. Because you can't trust anybody. It's betrayal at its best. Your own wife, the mother of your children, fucking betrays you the worst way possible versus the 10 Commandments against my mother's beliefs, against the way I was raised? Come on. And that's when I became embarrassed of the mother of my children. Because the truth comes out. I'm telling my truth now. But guess what? It took YouTube to be invented for me to be able to speak my piece. Now I do have a book out, my memoir, but it's not the juicy shit like I'm giving you. This is juicy because it's evergreen, it'll go forever. And believe me, people aren't going to like it, especially number one wife. She won't like it. But you know what? It's the truth. She's got a story. Make a comment, get on YouTube, do it. And you won't believe the shit she did, what she spread, rumors that she spread around while I was going through a divorce. A beaten dog. Did you hear what I said? I was a fucking broken man, 33 years old. Fucking broken. Everything I built was fucking broken. And I didn't want my kids to know it. Now you know it. And my kids will know it. And they got it from my mouth. So it wasn't easy. And the talking behind my back of my family, even my father, that I couldn't handle my own wife and kids, that I was a loser. I didn't take that shit, man. I'm my own man. And God gave that to me. So life after wife, you guys that are out there, life after spouse, you can do this. But it takes time. You have to change. It takes discipline. It takes risks. It takes obligation. It takes integrity. And you're going to be beaten, talked about, spit on, just like Jesus. Adversaries, the Judas of the world, they're out there. But you know what? After a while you go, no, I'm a man of integrity. My kids are good kids. And that's as far as I can go. And now I want to teach others that you can do this and never give up on the kids, man. And God's got a plan. Whoever your God is, you got to pray. You got to pray. And I talked about that all the time, about family is first, not money. Family's first. Money will come, but you got to be disciplined about money too. You can't waste when you got a family of 4 plus 2 households without a wife that's taking and stretching you as far as you can go. And you have to be careful of what you say, what you do. And that's why I always took the high road and didn't badmouth her. That takes courage, man. You can do this. So that's my story of life after wife number 1. Takes a lot, but if you gain that independence and freedom, you get peace, and then you start looking and go, wow. I mean, I can't believe where I am today. After all the breakups I've had, all the failures, all the kicking the balls by everybody. Family, friends, business associates, suppliers, everything. Even my own kids have betrayed me. And you just play it out. You play it out. Keep your cool. I pray. Do my thing. Go on YouTube. That's my therapy. That's my therapy. But believe me, I've had a therapist from the very beginning. I didn't believe in therapy until I went through my divorce. I even brought my kids before the complete divorce. And the therapist, I'll never forget, sat down with me, and I had each kid more or less talk to the therapist, and then he would speak to me. And after it, he goes, Rock, listen, the kids don't need this. You need it. And I'll never forget that. And I never knew how to deal with emotions. And he would give me a sheet of paper with like emojis on them. How do I feel today emotionally? I fucking didn't even know what emotions were. He had to teach me. I still don't know. I thought it was just high blood pressure. So I'm telling you, man, I've had a lot of help from people. Swimming, athletics, here I'm out in the park, you know. Keep active, man. You got to keep active. And eventually, I slept on a lot of pain also, where I would just go to bed and sleep on a decision. And then I had great people to talk to that understood my passion, my commitment, my dedication, my sacrifice for my kids. And most of them have gone through the same experience. I got buddies who've been married 2-3 times, multiple breakups with kids, and God, I couldn't have done it. That's the reason why I never wanted to meet a woman to start all over again, because I went through 22 years of the kids come first. Now, my dad used to say, just take care of yourself. But he would say it really harsh, and I would think, wow, that's kind of selfish. I feel guilty that I'm making this decision. No, what he meant as I age, and my dad's almost 100, just take care of yourself means take care of yourself first so you could actually help others in need. But you know what? You're going to realize, all my kids are in their 40s, you're going to realize they got their own issues. And they're going to deal with them the way they want. They're all married. They got spouses. And don't forget, everybody's got a different history, a separate past. And listen to me, there's a lot of secrets. A lot of secrets, and then they'll learn about deceit. They'll learn about betrayal, theft, fraud, bankruptcy, foreclosure, all the shit that I learned with wife number 2. Okay? So I want to thank my good friend who suggested, Rock, what's life after wife about? And I had to say, hey, which one? So I decided life after wife number 1, and I'm going to break out life after wife number 2, and that started when I was 52 and then ended at, 60, early 60s. So I'll give you that downplay very soon. So once again, I really appreciate you people thinking about me, commenting, listening, and understanding that, you got to take everything into account. There's a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of doubt. But you know what? Every day can get better. Every day can get better if you have little baby steps and just making smart decisions. Smart decisions. Don't get emotional. Think smart. Think strategically. Have good intentions. Because freedom, independence, and peace will always come when you take care of people in kindness. I spend more time with people that are non-family and strangers when I'm taking walks or going for a cup of coffee, because they all have a history. And I am so thankful I'm not young going through that shit again. Okay? So, thank you again. I appreciate it. You'll be hearing from me soon, very soon. This is Rocco. Talk to you soon.